Right. So I've talked a little bit already about the head carriage, right? But if you just, take your fingers and you put them in your ears or approximately that area and just imagine that connection point, you could visualize the center of your head, right? So the center of your head you could visualize as resting on top of your spine, right? So the axis of your spine, you have this ball of your head and you just imagine that it can balance on that point. Right. So that's one way of just kind of getting in touch with the position of your head is just thinking of the center of it. Right. Another way is to think of the crown. Right. So for the crown, you would come up from the ears, right, till the thumbs meet, and that would be the position. Right. And then you would just visualize that you're suspending the head by a strand of your hair from that point. Right. So as I suspend my head, I'm clear that I'm also sinking my body into the ground so that there's both heaviness and lightness in what I do. Right. So another way you can think of the head position is to reference it, right, with these imaginary lines. So you could have a line or a imaginary string, from your earlobe to your shoulder, and then you could just be like, well, how is that left side compared to right side? Which one feels longer, right? And then you could take the back of your head to the base of your neck, like your C7 or your T1 vertebra, or you could do the chin and the breastbone, right? So that gives you, if I'm nodding my head, I have a sense that those lengths are different, right? So in some region, there's a position where this length and this length are going to give me the most balanced position of my head, right? Where the muscle tone in my neck is the least tense, right? So it doesn't mean I need to stay in that position, but it can be useful to be able to find that as a reference, right? So, right. Lastly, you want to appreciate that it's not natural to have a flat cervical spine, right? So pulling your head back like this, whether a physical therapist told you to do so or you learned it in some other site, pulling your head like this is okay if you're doing it to perhaps strengthen some of those muscles, but keeping your head here is just not okay, right? It is not a natural thing to do, right? So we're supposed to have a little bit of curvature in the neck. Just look at a baby. When a baby is checking the world out, you can see their head moves perfectly. So you don't need to do these things that are so compulsive that create so much unnecessary tension and stress.